Alright, what is up, guys? We're back on vinyling this box. I'm going to spray the rest of this box out, spray the rest of the vinyl. I got the side panel and the port still to do, but we're going to do that while this other glue is drying. I do need to add some more glue on the inside of this, so probably we'll do that now. This is a Underseat enclosure for a 2020 Ford F150. It's going to have 4 Sundown Audio X8s in it. If you guys are just tuning in, let me know you're in here. Drop a comment below. Make sure you like this video. And as always, give the channel a share. It'd be much appreciated. Franco, what's up, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for dropping a comment. We got 3 people in here. We should have 3 comments. We should have 3 people telling us they're in here. So I'm just taking some extra glue from inside of my spray gun hopper and putting it on the inside of this right here. Inside windows, and when you have to bend that tight corner, you're going to want to put a lot of glue. I'm using Weldwood contact adhesive. DAP Weldwood. I believe it's DAP. Yep, DAP Weldwood contact cement. Definitely not easy to get glue in some of these little spaces. I already sprayed this, but I did leave it alone for a little while, so I'm going to come back and just add some more glue. It ain't going to hurt nothing to have more. Okay, while that's drying, or tacking up rather, you never want to stick your glue when it's still wet. Basically what you're looking for is it to be tacky but not wet. And then you're going to stick your 2 pieces together. You also have to have glue on both the vinyl and the wood itself. Randy Kessel, what's up, man? So Randy Kessel, you asked, hey buddy, how much would you charge me for a small box for the back of my Tahoe 4 Scar 8s? Honestly, man, I'm not taking on orders like that anymore, and I really couldn't do it anytime soon. I'm sticking to Underseat boxes and my low fab stuff. I may have a 4 Scar 8s low fabs box. I'll have to check out what I have, or you can go on my website, www.CustomLowz.com. There we go. Yeah, go check out what I have over there. I have stopped taking on custom orders like that, though, however, so most likely if I don't have anything in the low fabs, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to help you. And I know you are definitely a long-time supporter, so I am sorry that I have to kind of turn you down, but I have to stay strong to the rule I set myself, because if I don't, I'm not going to get to my goal. I'm just cutting up some plastic right now so I can cover the box up a little bit, make sure I'm not going to get overspray of glue all over the vinyl that I already put on. If you guys haven't already, well, either you can wait for this to be over, or if you want, go check out part 1. We got part 1. I started the vinyl, went over a lot of different tips and tricks and stuff like that. As I go along today, I will do the same thing, but if you think you're missing anything, go check out that episode first, because it probably has the info you need there. Alright, so I got that laid out, got the vinyl all protected. I have the glue. I'm spraying it on with a HVLP gun. You can spray it on, roll it on, brush it on. I am also using my brush a little bit as well, just to get some of the areas that I couldn't with the spray gun. Oh man, now it's leaking onto my trigger. My gun's all sticky now. All right. This stuff has a working time of 15 to 20 minutes. So basically I'm going to spray this up, work on that other side where we got the trim around the window and the port. By that time, this stuff should be nicely tacked up. Again, like I said, you don't want to try to work with it when it's still wet. You're looking for it to be tacky. Basically, I would say if you touch it and you don't have any glue left on your finger, it's good to go. If you touch it and you do, you know you got a little bit more time. It should be sticky, but not leave any glue residue on your finger when you pull your finger away. Definitely make sure you're applying, however you're going to apply a liberal amount of glue. You definitely don't want to shortchange it or cheap out on the glue here in this stage. You got to spray the box and the vinyl itself, or whatever it is that you're wrapping. You have to spray both pieces. That's just the way contact adhesives work. All right. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to have to give that some time before we move it. I was kind of hoping I could work on the other side first, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, actually. It's going to be hard to move that around without getting it stuck to the other parts. I guess I'll take the waiting time and I'll get the glue in the areas that the spray gun maybe didn't reach, or just extra glue. So I got a couple areas where I tuck the vinyl in and staple it, kind of where I'm going to hide my seam between the vinyl and the carpet. I'm going back with my paintbrush and making sure I really got a good amount of glue in that seam, just around the whole thing. You want it to stick really well, especially on your seams or where you're going to have the vinyl ending. You don't want it to start peeling up. It's going to be usually the first places it does. Also around the sub holes, I'm going to make sure I have a good amount of glue. You have a really small lip you're kind of wrapping and tucking the vinyl down on. I am going to staple it, but you want to add enough glue there too. The little small detail areas are the hardest to stick and will usually be the first places that are going to pop off on you. Even around this window, I'm going to go through, make sure I got glue all the way down to the window part. There is a trim panel that's going to go over this, but especially with this area in particular, we can't, there's really nowhere to staple it and still have a trim panel work. I'm using black vinyl for this. I'm using two-way stretch. I do make three-way stretch, which is probably going to be easier for you guys if it's your first time doing anything with vinyl. I would recommend getting the I.T.S.W Landau spray grade adhesive if you're going to be doing something. Normally that's what I like to use, but it wasn't going to get here in time, and I heard from a reliable source that it's basically the same. Alright, so we got to give this a little time to tack up. Actually, while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and start laying out these pieces for the trim. We got 4 trim pieces, 1 for each window, and then around the port. Alright, so we got 4 trim pieces. These are definitely fun little pieces to wrap. Alright, so when you're wrapping small pieces like this, I would definitely recommend giving yourself probably at least 2 inches all the way around on your piece. Maybe even a little more if you can. It's going to be better to trim off extra afterwards. You can never add any after you've already cut it off. And sometimes you do need that little extra to be able to stretch and pull it around all the way through the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these on my piece. I'm not going to cut it out yet. I'm just going to make sure I cut the overall length long enough to fit all these pieces on here. Again, I'm making sure I leave a gap between all these pieces enough to give myself overlap on every piece around all sides. Because you're also going to have to wrap around the back of the panel too. On these small ones, you kind of have to wrap around the back just to have something to secure it tight enough too. We'll probably wrap it and staple it around the back, but we have to do that on both sides. All right. So we're just going to roughly cut it here. Oop, if I can keep this on the table, that is. All right, put this to the side. Take my trim panels off of here. I'm going to flip the vinyl over. And first, I'm going to spray the pieces on the back of your vinyl. That way, any overspray goes on the vinyl piece. Kind of does the job of spraying it for you. I'm going to add a little more glue here. Definitely going to go through a lot of glue, especially when spraying it. You're going to go through a lot of glue. I had a pry bar here somewhere. If I can find it. I guess I'm going to use this, which isn't a pry bar, but it'll pry some stuff. If you guys are tuning in now, let me know. Drop a comment in the chat below. Let me know you're here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it, all that good stuff, whatever you want to do. Again, I'm using DAP Weldwood contact cement. just spraying it with my gun. You can spray it on, roll it on, brush it on, pour it on, spread it with a knife, whatever you want to do. Okay. No matter what you're going to do, whether you're spraying it, rolling it, or brushing it, I would definitely make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. The chemicals, like the smell on this stuff is extremely strong. Probably almost borderline wear a mask, but I have my bay door open and the fans sucking all the fumes out, basically. Alright, so I'm trying to basically completely cover this piece as much as I can without flipping it over. I'll end up spraying it again too after I flip it over, but you got to do one side at a time. Small pieces like this are going to depend heavily on the glue. There's not a lot of surface area, so you need to make sure what surface area you do have is glued as good as possible. Safari, wrapping small pieces must be tough. It's, I don't know, I would say it's 50-50. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. Small pieces, I feel like the flat areas is where you're going to typically get like your bumps. And with small pieces, you typically don't have a lot of flat space, so that's one plus. I will say though, kind of trying to bend around all those turns and curves and stuff like that is definitely not easy. You're going to use a lot of hot gun and a lot of cutting, staple gun, stretching. Michael Groves, are you still live? It's 5:56 here. Yeah, it's 5:56 here as well. I'm still live. I went off live. I know I was on earlier. I did the part 1 to the vinyling of this box. This is the part 2. I just sprayed these little trim pieces I got. I'm going to spray this vinyl up. It's got a 15 to 20 minute work time, like I've mentioned. So after we spray these, they have a little bit of dry time in order to be able to work with it. The box right now, we already sprayed that. That's actually looking pretty good. It's feeling tacky, yet not leaving a glue residue on my finger, which that's what you're looking for with this. Tacky but not dry, or tacky but not wet, however you want to look at it. So I'm going to spray my whole piece. Once I stick my little trim pieces on here, that's when I'll trim it up, but I want to make sure the whole piece of vinyl is completely covered in glue. It's going to be a lot easier to cover it while it's in a big sheet like this than trying to cover it when it's in your small pieces after trim up. Again, make sure you use a ton of glue. Maybe not a ton, but a lot. Michael Groves, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, buddy. All right, so a few areas, a little wet in some areas, but other than that, it's looking good. We're going to reposition this box. We'll reposition the camera too. Let's see here. Let's get you guys a better angle. Losing camera as always. Hopefully I got mic still. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Alright, hopefully this is a better angle once it's all set up. Alright, I like it. I like it. You guys can see me. Turbo Stang, you do some great work. Honestly impressed me to take more risks with enclosures I build. Oh, honestly inspired me to take more risks with enclosures I build. Thank you so much, Turbo Stang. I appreciate it, man. Michael Groves, the screen is black. Yeah, sorry about that. Safari, you got sound. Thank you for a sound check. Again, Turbo Stang, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It is a good feeling to be considered an inspiration to anybody. Yeah, man, take risks, because that's the way you're gonna learn for sure. I mean, you can learn playing it easy, but you'll learn a lot quicker taking the risk, because I don't know. I almost feel like messing up teaches you more than doing it the right way. And messing up and trying to improvise from there. I know it's definitely my skills to improvise has definitely helped me a lot. Yeah, if you guys lose camera, I film on my phone and I host it on StreamYard. So if I have like anything come through my phone, unfortunately, I for some reason lose the camera. And I don't know how I can block everything out at once. I've tried putting it on like silent mode, but and do not disturb. But do not disturb doesn't work unless your phone is locked. So catch 22. Either way, guys. Again, if you're just tuning in, make sure you drop a like on this video. Let me know you're here with a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Turbo Stang, I have built hundreds of boxes over the years and can tell what you do is quality. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that, for real. Especially from someone who's built hundreds of boxes over the years. I guess I could say at this point I've built 100+ boxes. I don't know if I could say I've built hundreds in the plural yet, though. I don't know. I have to take a look back. I can almost surely say I haven't built over, you know, multiple hundreds. 100 though, possibly for sure. We're doing a 2020 Ford F150 Underseat enclosure right now. We're wrapping it in vinyl. It's going to have 4 Sundown Audio X8s inside of it. This thing's got gloss black paint on the inside, RGB LEDs, plexiglass windows, whole bunch of great stuff. Stack fab port. This thing's definitely a badass enclosure. I'm excited to show you it. Show you guys the box after we get done vinyl wrapping it. I'm using a black vinyl on this thing. We're going to do a carpeted top, back, and bottom. Alright, so the vinyl, or the glue rather, definitely dry enough on the vinyl as well. So we're going to readjust the box, move some stuff around a little bit, make it easier to work, and then start pulling this vinyl over. Alright, I'm trying to make it so you guys aren't completely looking at my back, hopefully. You can see somewhat of what's going on. I think that should help. I have a horrible delay between my, what I can see in the computer, so, or rather what you guys can see in the computer. Alright, so when you're doing something like this, I would definitely recommend trying to work a section at a time. With this front, you're going to try to just pull the whole front at once. You know, definitely pull it real tight. I guess I'll even use my knee. just move that little brace or little bottom triangle piece I have holding the box up, give me a little more leverage to pull down. All right, so I'm only going to be worried about my flat surfaces at first. Again, I have the 2 subs in here and a window as well. You will be able to, when you have subs and windows, you will be able to pull some slack out. So if you do have a little bit of a wrinkle inside your flat spot, don't worry, don't press it down all the way. You know, kind of try to pull in from your area where you have your window that's going to get cut out anyway, because if you have a small wrinkle in here, it's not going to matter nearly as much as if you have a wrinkle in the middle of the face. All right, so that laid out pretty good. I'm going to get my roller. I just use a deadener roller. I don't have any fancy roller or specific roller to vinyl. Just going to kind of roll out some of these flat areas. Oops, don't want to go too much at one time. And when you're doing vinyl, it is definitely not about how fast you do it, in my opinion. It's just take your time, little by little. Especially you gotta do a lot of thinking ahead of time with vinyl, because when you start stretching it one way, if you go try to stretch it in the opposite way for something else, it'll start to create wrinkles for you. Obviously, wrinkles are going to look bad, so you don't want those. So yeah, you definitely have some pre-planning. I always do my flat faces first. Then I probably start with these corners here, since these are going to be the most difficult corners to do. Same thing with this corner, and then these back here, because I have to wrap this piece around the bottom. Alright. Yeah, I gave myself just enough vinyl to make this work, so that's okay. Alright, so get my heat gun. You're going to use a lot of heat gun doing all this stuff. Now you want to apply enough heat where your vinyl is somewhat malleable and kind of stretchy, but you don't want to put too much, because you will burn a hole through it, or make it so soft that when you pull it, you'll actually stretch a hole through it. So I got to come around the kind of the top corner of this, so I'm just going to work a small little bit at a time, pulling it over, kind of inch by inch. Areas like this where you have like a 3-way, you know, contour can definitely be a little more difficult. That actually went pretty smoothly though. As smoother as I could have asked, that's for sure. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Alright, now I'm just going to flip onto this other side. Need to get multiple cameras so I can actually have you guys viewing multiple sides at a time. Or maybe even just I could flip back and forth without moving the camera. Upgrades, one day. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment below, let me know where you're watching from, where you're from, what you think of what I'm doing, all that good stuff. I'm just working my way down. I got both of those corners done, so now I'm going to work my flat sides. I'm also going to wait till the vinyl cools down all the way until I start stapling anything, because when the vinyl is warm, it's definitely a lot softer and the staples tend to go through it a lot quicker. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it on its top. I'm going to start wrapping the back side of this thing. I have some LED wires to worry about as well, which I basically just, I'll cut a slit in the vinyl, pull them through, and I'll wrap basically I'll wrap it around them. Michael Groves, I love all of your enclosures. I'm going to try things I've seen you do. I know I say it a lot, but seriously, thank you for everything you do and the live feeds you've started. It means a lot. Hey, thank you so much, Michael Groves. I really appreciate that, man. I'm glad you can get something useful out of it. That's the purpose, the hope. All right. Now I gotta unband these LEDs. Colby Lorero, dang, turbo hundreds? Yeah, that's crazy, right? I mean, the people who build like, nothing against what you do. I don't even know what you do turbo necessarily. I know you build boxes, so I just don't know what kind. When I was at the cabinet shop, I was near a box shop that built just like MDF prefabs, and those guys would probably build 10 plus boxes a day, if not more than that. So I mean, you got to figure over a years, you definitely have easily hundreds of boxes. Alright, I'm going to add a little more glue to the back side of this thing. And then I'll just jump back over to that other side window that I glued earlier when we first got on. That way that'll give this plenty of time to dry up. When in doubt, put more glue because you ain't going to be able to add more later on. Especially with this contact adhesive. Once you have to pull it up to add glue, you might as well just replace the vinyl because it's not going to come up very cleanly. Alright, so we're going to let that do its thing and dry. We're going to jump back on this side over here. The window side. It's got the side that... This side is the side with the port and the window. So it's got two things kind of going on here. Oh, my vinyl's over here curling up on me. That's what I kind of initially assumed. Although, hey, you could do hundreds of custom boxes if you just found a way to build them quick enough. I know I sure can't seem to do it that way, but I know there's a lot of guys who are a hell of a lot quicker than me, that's for sure. Turbo Stang says, Lost the camera. Sorry, guys. Come on, I think I can get it back eventually. Let's see. Alright, Turbo Stang, you said, I don't anymore, but I do some custom boxes now and try to incorporate much more custom details, and I can truly appreciate the work that goes into these boxes. I do appreciate that, Turbo Stang. Thank you so much. Alright, back on it. Alright, so we're going to move on to this side over here, because we just put glue on this kind of the last. Alright, so for something like this, you're going to be using plenty of heat gun. Let's see if we can get you guys a better angle of what's going on here. Need a cameraman over here, I swear. Alright, so I do have trim panels for this side, or little inserts. Well, I already sprayed it with glue, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Normally, a helpful cheat is to just use your trim panel to help press it in as you're heat gunning around, but I already glued the thing, so we're not doing that. Okay. I could do it without it. Hopefully the quality is not as horrible on your guys' end as it is on mine, because I'll tell you what, the video quality is, it's pretty bad. I'm just going around little by little, pressing it, heating it up, pressing it a little more. You don't want to try to stress too much at one time. Whew, that's real hot. Where's my knife? Whew, that is hot. As one would probably assume. Oh my gosh. Killing my fingers over here. So thankfully we do have trim panels with this. So you kind of get away with a little bit extra cutting in the corners to make them fit better. Although I think I'm going to have to put some more heat gun on that bad boy. A lot of work to get these areas right, for sure. Now we might need some CA glue for that corner right there. Put a real small drop. That's all you need with vinyl, it seems. Just a tiny bit. Try not to get my fingers stuck to it. Alright, and that held it pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to go around and trim. We'll also have a little bit more work after we get it trimmed up too. But we're definitely getting close on this thing. Looking good. If you guys are just tuning in, this is an enclosure for 2024 F150 for 4 Sundown Audio X8. We're doing the vinyl work right now. This is part 2. I did a part 1 earlier where I guess I basically did the enclosure in 2 halves. The first part is on part 1. This is the rest of it here. A lot more of the detail work going on. I'm using DAP weldwood contact cement for my adhesive or my spray glue. I'm spraying it on, but you can roll, brush, or spray it, or pour it, spread it, however you'd like. Don't want that to come off. My tape keeps trying to come off. I'm not ready to reveal the inside of the enclosure. Oh, also I don't want to take the tape off yet because I know I'm going to get more spray glue in places. I'd say that looks dang good. And again, you're going to have a trim panel which is going to cover up all little things like that and just the reveal around the whole thing. Alright, next we got this port here. Now, this is probably going to be an easier piece than I would say the window was. So I'm doing some relief cuts in the corners, kind of along the whole thing, just because you need them to be able to get it in here and wrap this thing. Actually get the material to fit in the corners. Okay, so back with the heat gun. Just gonna heat gun it up. Should have a tool for holding this vinyl. I guess this will do for now. This stuff gets so hot though. I got the heat gun on like basically full blast. I am getting it pretty hot. I want it malleable. If you play with it enough, you kind of know your limits. So I'm going to go around the perimeter, just pressing in as I go along, little by little. Around the whole port. Kind of trying to stretch it inside there. You're going to really go back and forth over and over again. Just stretching, pulling, stretching, pulling, heating. Some more heat gun. Liberal amounts of heat gun on that one. I have an insert ring for this too, so my main concern is making sure it gets inside of the cutout here. Other than that, I don't necessarily need it to touch the landing, but it would be nice if I can get it to stretch that far. We're going to try, but we'll see what happens. More heat gun. Heat gun is going to be your best friend when wrapping anything. Little stuff like this you're going to spend a lot of time on when vinyl wrapping. Just working the corners. You know, get a little bit further in there, go around the rest of it, come back to that corner again, do a little more heat gun. Again, you don't want to do too much. You can already see that's kind of smoking a little bit. That's about on the verge of too much heat gun. But I really want to get the stuff to stretch and press in this corner. Again, I don't need to worry about this landing here. Just need it to get inside this little lip I have. Sometimes a little bit bigger of a relief cut is all you need to make it work. More heat gun. Hey, you can kind of see as I was heating it up, it was kind of almost ripping or tearing or whatever. That's definitely from the heat. It'll do that if you got too much heat on it. It'll do it. Alright, so we got one more corner basically. A little bit bigger of a relief cut. Again, you can always go back and cut a little more, but you can't add more vinyl afterwards. Alright, get it to the point of almost melting. Stretch it. Stretch. Stretch. Probably need a little bit of CA glue under this one too. Or we're just going to put it anyway and nip it in the butt. Don't have to worry about it. Come out of there. Alright, so try not to glue my fingers. Hopefully I got glue anywhere that I needed it to be. And I almost glued my finger. Alright, so I'm going to add some staples in there, just because you're not going to see them, and I'd rather not have to worry about that ever coming loose again. Or, not again, but I know it's coming loose when the customer gets it, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to try to get him to aim right into the corner of this thing. And I'm basically just putting the staples right next to each other, trying to leave as little of a gap as possible. If you can do no gap, even better. And I'm going to go back around and press the staples in a little bit more. Just because you have a tight corner, they tend to not press in all the way. Which is I'm okay with, because sometimes if it shoots in there too hard and too fast, it'll rip the vinyl. Alright, so I'm going to flip my blade around. Just make sure I get a nice sharp cut on there. You always want to make sure you got a sharp blade. Alright. Start trimming it up. You want to go next to your staples, but don't really like touch too close to them, because it will start to rip the material and pull away from the staples if you do. Alright, I'm worried that this sidewall is going to be a little too thin to put any staples on, so I'm not gonna. Well, maybe I'll put some in straight, I guess. I'll see how that goes. I already don't like it. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can make happen here. Alright, I'm happy with that. I did put a lot of glue. The staples are really just precautionary, but they will help, and I don't think I would necessarily ever do it without using the staples. So maybe they're not just precautionary. They're absolutely necessary. Use the staples, as I always do. Or don't. See what happens. Oh no. I think I did kind of nick that piece a little bit. Amateur moves. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that for sure. So basically we got this half done. Now we're just going to finish off this other half and drag you guys over here where you can see what I'm doing. If you guys are just tuning in, let me know. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're from, where you're tuning in at, why you're tuning in. Let me know something. And if you haven't yet, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing live streams very regularly. This is a two-part series, basically right here. In the first part, we started wrapping it. The second part, which is this one, we're going to finish it up. This is for a 2020 Ford F150 underseat enclosure. It's got 4 sundown audio X8s. I keep doing that. Gloss black finish on the inside, stacked fab port, 3 plexiglass windows with RGB LEDs. Definitely a really good looking enclosure. With the vinyl, it's going to really set it off nicely. Chloe and Janae, Florida. Hey, baby. Thank you for tuning in. Chloe's my fiance. All right, we got half a box left. Let's get this thing done. Okay, I added some glue back here, so I guess we'll try to swing this around so you guys can actually see what's going on. Oh, running over cords, pulling things apart. All right, I guess I could have moved the camera, but this does seem a little easier. Curtis Gadsden, South Carolina, what is up, man? Did you see the video I just posted about your box? Well, before I say that, I'm 99% sure this is your box. I almost want to go check now just to double, triple confirm. All right, sweet. I didn't misspeak. Curtis Gadsden, it is your box. Did a live stream yesterday. I was staining it up. Thanks to your box, my hands and the insides of my fingernails have a permanent shade of black from the stain. I guess not thanks to you. Thanks to me for forgetting gloves. You'd think I've done this enough times or something. All right, so the only side we got left on, the flat spots, the easy area is not around the subs. It's going to be this back corner. So I'm going to use my heat gun. I got to pull and stretch it around and at least to this groove. So I'm going to make sure I put a lot of heat in this corner. Again, not too much. Can't say that enough, because you will start stretching it past its limits and tearing it, or just getting like a distortion in the pattern of the vinyl. I also have to be really careful too, because I cut a slit in here for the LED wires to go through, and that can tend to pull a lot more from the slit that you cut. I watch every video and live stream. Thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes I don't know who watches, who doesn't. So I definitely appreciate the fact that you do tune in. My small, dedicated audience. I appreciate y'all. All right, so I got to wrap this. Guess what would be really the top Gotta move this around a little bit so I could flip it over. Man, it's substantially heavier on the port side than it is on the other side. Kind of crazy. All right, so we already got that, which is going to be just fine with staples. Get a little more heat on this corner. Nope. Almost lost the camera, I thought. No, we're good. Nice. That went well. Okay, now we're going to finish off by stapling up the sides. Then we can trim it up. Then we're going to start working around the subs. I thought the camera was going to fall. It's just the damn lag on this thing. It's wild. I can't get over it. Almost seems like there's a 30-second delay. I gotta carefully staple inside this groove I made in here. It's gonna be the transition between the vinyl and the carpet. It's pretty crucial in my opinion that I get this part right, so I'm just taking my time. And I'm leaving literally no spacing between the staples. I'm just one right after another. Colby, I'm not even. I don't even want to read your comment out loud, but she keeps me very well fed. You guys should somewhat be able to tell. Lots of stapling to do. Alright, I'm going to flip this on the side. I'm over here debating how I want to do it. More staples. Wow. Tell you what, I got through a lot of staples doing this. Oh. Alright, we got all that stapled up. Now I'm just going to go through and trim it out. Trying to get as close to my staples as I can without riding against them. You will start cutting away the vinyl whether you see it or not. And it will actually start tearing at the staple line. Alright, before I go any further with that, I'm just going to move on to getting the subs done. Yes, Colby. She is definitely a very good woman. Very fortunate. I lucked out big time. Are we back? All right, here we are. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. As usual, I just lose the video. I don't know. We're at 1 hour of streaming, so maybe it's just like, hey, you've done enough. It's time to get offline now. Either way, we're still going strong vinyl in this thing. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you drop a like on this video, comment, let me know you're here, where you're from, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. It would definitely be much appreciated. We're vinyl wrapping a 2024 F150 enclosure for 4 Sundown Audio X8s. It's got black vinyl, gloss black interior, plexiglass windows, multicolor RGBs. Yeah, multicolor LEDs, RGB LEDs, whatever you like to call them. It's got fancy lights in this thing. It's a sweet enclosure. Jay Steger, Fort Myers, Florida, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We got 9 people in here. There should be 9 comments in the chat right now. The more you guys comment, the more it helps the stream. That's definitely for sure. So drop me some comments and let me know what you guys think of what's going on. I know we're an hour and 17 minutes in and we're only vinyl wrapping, but hey, you guys are sticking around for a reason. I hope, at least. hopefully the slightly upbeat elevator jams are helping you guys stay concentrated, stay interested. I almost can't work without music, so this is kind of the best thing I could find where they're not going to constantly flag every video I do. So listen to some lo-fi hip-hop. I mean, I actually like the stuff, like, I guess if I'm just hanging out or trying to, like, relax or go to sleep or something, but definitely usually for working, I like to listen to something with maybe some vocals. Just the sacrifices I make for you guys live streaming. I'll just do song requests for super chats. You guys request a song, super chat me $4.99 and I'll play it. Am I out of staples? Kinda. I think, how many times am I going to have to say that I hate this thing before I just go buy a new one? Probably a couple hundred. Been complaining about my Brad nailer for the past couple months and just never go get a new one. Such a boring tool to have to buy, you know? A nail gun or a stapler. Well, apparently the lag is due to censorship. Ah. I guess that makes sense. Gives it a small delay so you can. I mean, I know news station lives are set up like that where there's a delay between what people see and what is actually, live at the scene. It's never truly live. Won't let you say the won't let you say the word chubby. That's so funny. I'm not chubby, Colby. I'm big boned. Please stop bullying me. I'm gonna report you. You're gonna get banned on YouTube now for making fun of me. Is a good cook or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Definitely a good cook. I don't really like going out all that, or we don't like going out all that much, like fast food. So we do a lot of home cooking for sure. Plus, it just tastes better that way. I don't know what it is. Well, I mean, fresher stuff, better stuff, probably all of the above. All right, another sub hole down, and now we got to do one more window, two more windows. This is definitely a long process. All right, so I'm just going to go around and kind of press in what I can around the window. There's going to definitely be a lot of heat gun involved with this thing here. We'll cut some relief cuts now, might as well. Is the censorship really that crazy? Seriously, won't let you type things like women are good cooks. Oh my god, that's wild. That might be seen as demeaning now. We're not gonna get into any of that stuff though. This stream is about car audio, dang it. And car audio fabrication. And you guys going and buying subwoofer enclosures from me and t-shirts and merch. Of course. Stretching cord comes unplugged. If you guys are just tuning in, we're working on a 2024 F150 enclosure for 4 Sundown Audio X8s. I've been vinyl wrapping it for the last couple hours. This is a part 2 of a 2-part series. Maybe even branch into a 3-part series. We'll see how long the carpet section takes me. Although I think I can get the carpet done a heck of a lot quicker than I did the vinyl. So we'll see. I'm trying to get this enclosure done though. Get it out of my shop. Or get it to the customer rather. More importantly, get it to the customer. Equally as important, get it out of my shop. I got a lot of work to do. So I got to start knocking projects out like crazy, really. Not a bad problem to have, though, so I'm not going to complain. Definitely blessed to be busy, because I know a lot of people who ain't. Although, honestly, I mean, I feel like that's all by choice. If you're not busy, probably something you're doing, or not doing, I guess you could say. Probably more so not doing. YouTube will ban the unpolitically correct. Probably to a certain extent that is pretty true. I can definitely say though, I've watched some, I've seen some channels, even just recently, like big channels that aren't super politically correct. I mean, they're not obviously being hateful. I mean, nobody truly wants any of that. You know what? So trying to draw me into this conversation, Colby. We're talking about car audio on this channel. What's your guys' favorite car audio brand? Drop it in the comments below. What's your favorite car audio brand and why? I want to hear it right now. Let's hear it from the chat. Favorite car audio brand and why? You got to pick one. You don't have to build a whole system with this brand, but just pick one that's your favorite of all of them. Okay, let's see here. J. Steger, say Zapco and Helix. Pretty sweet brands, honestly. Expensive, though. Colby, are you from Steg Audio, Jay? Oh, you're talking to Stedger. That makes more sense. So confused. Kobe Laro. Yeah, hopefully I'm Laro? Kobe Laro? However your name. Colby! My favorite boxers are CustomLowz. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm so horrible at pronouncing last names. Unbelievable. You'd think I wouldn't know the English language if I with the ways I pronounce some of the last names. Even customers, it's kind of crazy. Like so many different last names. You're like, what is that? Whew. A lot of work into this. Just one window, I tell you what. Dash pods, no. I've definitely built door pods, and I've built one or two sets of A-pillars. I believe one set of A-pillars. Nobody wants A-pillars. I've built quite a few sets of doors, though. They're not really my favorite thing to do because they're like an insanely, crazy amount of work to get them done, and a lot of people don't want to pay the money. Never messed around with dash pods, though. More heat gun. So much heat gun. Alright, I think we got that pretty dang good. Get you guys a closer view. Thing is looking good. Alright guys, so it's really one window left, I believe. Maybe some stapling and trimming along the top. Yep, some stapling and trimming along the top, and one more side window, and we're done on this thing. Well, done vinyl wrapping it, then we got carpet to do. Thomas Marshall, what is up, man? Colby, we're talking car audio here, Thomas. Why do you... I'm scared that you have to warn him beforehand. Hopefully he knows about this. You have a solo Xbox. Okay, so Thomas Marshall says, was wondering how I was going to finish off my solo box. Thinking you mean Rhino coat it. The vinyl looks nice. Colby says wrap it in vinyl, Thomas. Well, it depends on Depends on your skill level, honestly. If you feel comfortable vinyling it and you think you're going to do a good job, definitely vinyl it. If you think you might have some trouble getting a good vinyl job, I think bedliner looks way better than bad vinyl, if that makes sense. I'm not even saying that you're going to do a bad job. I don't know your skill level. But if you are worried about the outcome, bedliner is a much more forgiving finish. But you're never going to learn until you start tackling it. So if you want to learn how to do vinyl, get on it and start vinyling your box. You're going to mess up a few times. I think the first set of doors I did, I probably ripped the vinyl off 2 or 3 times on the first door alone because it just was not going my way, like any way. Nothing was going my way on that one. But after a few redos, some trials and tribulations, I did prevail, and the doors actually came out really nicely, which, not that I was surprised, but I guess I was surprised because it was my first set of doors I had ever wrapped. I obviously wasn't going to let them leave my shop until they looked good, but I was amazed and glad and happy with how good they did look. Alright, so we got this thing all trimmed up. Yeah, this is the box for 4 Sundown Audio X8s. It's going in a 2024 F150. Alright, I think I'm going to trim up, staple up, and trim the top down first before I do this last window. I kind of had enough stretching and heat gun with the top of this thing, or with the front window rather. Alright. Where's that little tool at? I lost it. There we go. I found it. Just using this thing to press my vinyl into the groove I have made here, and then I'm going to staple inside of that. This will be the reveal where my carpet and vinyl meet up on the top. So it's pretty important that I get it looking right. Thomas is a car audio guru. Nice. Sundown nice, that's going to hit hard. Yes, it definitely should. I'm far from a guru, but I got it down pretty well. Well, you might know a little more than you're leading on. Usually the knowledgeable people claim to not know the most. Man, I'll tell you what, that staple gun is just going to be the death of me. Denali 24, what's up, man? Did you get to see the final project? No, I don't think it made it to SEMA Denali. I'm pretty sure it did not actually, but I'm not sure. Maybe it did, and I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into details, but personally, I don't. Not that I don't care where it's at, but I'm in no rush to worry about it being completed anytime soon. I just knocked something off my table. I don't know what it was. It's probably gonna be something I need later. Oh, my roller. Thomas Marshall, thank you so much for the super chat. For the record, all right, let's just pull it up on the screen. When is the last time I oiled this stapler? If that answers your question. Colby, yes, you do need to get me some. Let me know, man. Peanut butter sounds delicious. Alright guys, I am for a brief second going to lose the camera, and I kind of already know that, so be prepared, and I'm sorry. Hopefully, I am back. We'll see what's going on. Throw a couple drops or 3 of oil in it, and it should stop misfiring. Yeah, that should do it. I don't have any gun oil here though, and I mean, I don't think. Yeah, too much oil, you don't want to have that, but I mean, will WD-40 suffice? I know usually you want to use like gun oil, but I don't have any here. I borrowed my dad's framing nailer and I used my gun oil and I put it in a case and I gave it back to him, and I'll never see that gun oil again. Alright, so we've been streaming for almost 2 hours now, it looks like. Yes, definitely. Justin should hang out on Unmask and 12 Volt Talk. I've been on there a couple times. I've actually watched 12 Volt Talk a lot more than 12 Volt Talk I've watched a lot more than I've watched Unmasked. I do tend to catch them after the fact, after they're already posted. I like to listen to stuff like that when I'm working on stuff. Thomas, you say no WD-40. It will stick to the internals. Good idea. Colby, trying to think of the best way to send it to you. Send me an email at CustomLowz@yahoo.com, and I'll reply back with my address. I would definitely appreciate that, man. That'd be super sick. Or post your email, and I'll write it down, and I'll send you the email. So, if you're doing me a favor, I'll do the extra legwork if you need me to. Yeah, I got my camera brightness all the way, or my screen brightness all the way down, and this camera is still sucking up my battery. So is that like something you guys do on the side as a hobby, or is that your business? Just curious. I'm not sure if you and Thomas are like close. I mean, I know he sold you an amp, but I don't know how close of friends you guys are. Maybe you guys have a business, or you brought him some. Either way, man, it's pretty cool. I definitely appreciate it. Alright, so I'm going to hope my camera doesn't die before I finish this up. If it does, we'll be back for a part 3, but hopefully it doesn't. Am I out of staples already? Misfired again! Someone send me some gun oil. I'm going to go on Amazon and order some. When I go to Home Depot, it's like the last thing I think about. Especially because I don't frequently use this gun. So when I do, it usually doesn't line up with the time I'm about to go to Home Depot or going to Home Depot. I'll tell you what, though, it does misfire like an awful lot. It's pretty annoying. Thomas, you said, Justin, check those shows out live, bro. You'll get more subscribers at the very least. I'm a residential and commercial contractor. How about vegetable oil? Ooh, I do have some vegetable oil at the house. I guess I could use that. I should just like next day some gun oil though. I think about every gun I have needs it. Although I have a DeWalt brad nailer that's kind of crap in the bed too, which doesn't require. It literally says, you know, oilless, which, you know, I was always used to oil, you know, guns that ran oil. I was a cabinet maker or cabinet builder, whatever you like to call it, cabinet installer. And I was always, you know, I even did some framing for a time. I was always very familiar with oiling up my guns frequently. And then they started coming out with all these oilless. Then when I bought my first porta cable set, like the nail gun, the little pancake compressor, and it comes with the stapler and whatnot, that actually said oilless, the whole thing, which is pretty surprising because I know on the old guns, you gotta oil the things. Alright, so we got this all stapled up. Now we're just gonna trim it out. Thank you for the tip though, man. I appreciate it. I'll have to run over the house and go get some. Oh no. Going off the line. Man, what am I doing? It's like I forgot how to cut straight. All right, we're one step closer to getting this bad boy done. He gave you can't plug your camera in directly. Yeah, I have it plugged in, but it is just still somehow sucking a tremendous amount of battery from this thing. I have substantially less battery than I started with, and it has been plugged in charging this entire time. Although it has to charge through the mic port, so I think that might be kind of killing my that might be killing my battery in itself. All right, we got one more window, and then we are on to carpet. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited as well. If you guys are just tuning in, we're working on a 2024 F150 enclosure for 4 Sundown Audio X8s. We're doing the vinyl wrap. We're about almost done now at this point. We got one more window to do, which I'm excited about. We're going to be doing carpet on the top and top, bottom, and back of the enclosure. Get my extension cord to run the heat gun. Got a few more trim panels to vinyl up, so suppose we're not quite done, but we're almost done with the enclosure, and that's the important part. A lot of work just to get to this stage. A lot of stretching, a lot of heat gun, a lot of time spent on this bad boy, but it's looking good. It's time well spent so far. Hopefully you guys who've been watching this whole time have learned something, if anything at all. Just going a little bit at a time, small areas, working small areas, trying to get the corners pressed in there. Gonna have to stretch it quite a bit to get it to go into the corners, so you gotta work it slow because you can't put too much heat in it or you'll start ripping it and melting it. Woo! That is hot. Burn my finger off. Should be wearing some like work gloves or something. Although I don't like wearing gloves all that often because you start losing the feel for what you're actually working on. Although burning your hand kind of sucks either way. Camera's so close, you guys can really see my concentration face. Oh no, I broke my screwdriver. Now space won't stay on there much. Alright. All right, now really, I guess I'm just going to start taking off the paper and stuff from all this stuff. The fun part, really just have the trim panels to vinyl up. Man, there's a thick coat of primer on these things. Wasn't expecting that. Yes, there is plexi under the tape, and there's gloss black on the inside of the box. It's dusty right now. I'm trying to find my little pick so I can get the tape off of this one window. There's a lot of primer built up on it. All right, guys, I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me now. The only thing left to do really now is take the paper off, wrap the top and back of the target. We got some trim panels to wrap with vinyl. We'll bring you back, guys, back with the part 3 of wrapping up all the panels, or the remaining panels, that is. Either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are watching this far in the episode, make sure you comment 1728 down below. Let me know you watched this far. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you like this, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with the part 3. We're gonna finish wrapping this up. Gonna reveal the inside of the enclosure, basically the whole enclosure. We'll get the LGB. Jeez, oh man, starting to get political on this channel. Get the multicolor LEDs going. Wrap up the other trim panels, but we've been streaming for 2 hours now, so we're getting out of here. We'll be back for part 3, maybe even be tonight. So stay tuned.